Guys, it's tax time and it's time to stretch your dollar as far as it can go. So today, Ryan D at ZZP is going to tell you the top 3 mods. Wait, is it top 3 or top 10?
Top 10.
10? Top 10 mods for your LTG under $100. Alright guys, so I'm going to do my best in this video to kind of go over the few mods for your ATS. Some of these fit the Camaro too, that are going to be under $100 roughly. There's a cheater one in there, don't worry, we'll talk about it. But I'm going to try to go price lowest to highest. Number 1 is your ATS Cup Holder cover. That'd be this thing right here. I know, you guys saying, well, that's not a performance mod. Guys, this is one of those little mods that will help you out massively. So what it does is it sits down right where your cup holders are. And let's be honest, the ATS has kind of crappy placement for the cup holder, especially if you have a manual car like I do. And this will allow you to set your phone on it, set other random things on there if you have to quickly grab something. It just looks better than your open, dusty, grimy, old, gross cup holder, rubber that's in there. Granted, yeah, you can take it out and clean it, but this is a nice, easy way to just have some you set down there, and then you're good to go. I personally, because I updated my car for Apple CarPlay and stuff, I set my phone right on it, and it sits there. Not too much in the sun, and it's very easy to grab and not have me find a little place in the seat next to me or anything. So that one starts off at $19.99. Easy mod to do, installs in 20 seconds, if not less, and then you're good to go. And even on the back side, it matches the piano black that the rest of the ATS trim is. Easy mod to do. Your next mod is going to be your Denzel ITV24 spark plugs. Those will be right here. So guys, this is a really, really undervalued mod with the LTGs. A lot of people who know the LTGs will swear by these plugs, and for very good reason. So as we know from our spark plug guys and things like that, you have a lot of things that are going to cause a little bit of knock, a little bit of pre-ignition on the LTG. These significantly reduce that on a modified car or a stock car. You take these, gap them at usually 32 thou or 28 thou, somewhere up in there, and you have a much, much happier LTG that's going to be a little more forgiving with different types of fuels, and it's also really easy to install. Another thing you can install for, in about 10-15 minutes at the most. So the Denzel spark plugs too are pretty cheap, $34.99 for a set of 4, and easy, ships fast, gets you real quick for tax times, and getting your cars up for race season. Alright guys, so the next one is kind of a cool mod, more of a power-oriented mod a little bit. So the next we have our ZZPerformance in-house drop-in air filter for the LTGs. This beauty right here is one of the new things that ZZPerformance has come out with in order to save you guys a little bit of money and also give you a lot of performance. This one works very similar to another drop-in filter, but it's a higher flowing one, and it's also a good replacement for your stock guy, as well as saves a little bit of money versus your other brands like your K&N ones. Your K&N one's still good, but this is something that we thought to bring to you guys just for a little bit of cost savings. This is paired really well with our LTG all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive silicone intake tube. That's this guy. Now this guy is a little bit over $100. This is $134.99, I believe. But this gets rid of all that your stock housing here right after your OEM airbox. Your stock one has a resonator in here that keeps the sound down, as well as a bunch of ribs that just kind of interrupts airflow a little bit. So this one gets rid of all that restriction, and then with a tune, it's going to actually gain you quite a bit of power over your stock intake. So it looks better and gives you a little bit of turbo noise too, so you have both the performance aspect of it and the aesthetic of it, along with a clean install of your ZZPerformance drop-in air filter. So this is a little cheater one that's a little bit more than $100, but it's gonna be one of those things that you'll be happy that you spent the extra money if you're not wanting to go with our full ZZPerformance ATS Colder intake. What's nice is this fits both the ATS and the Camaro, and maybe another longitudinal mounted LTG as well. Alright guys, so the next one is more of a maintenance mod. LTGs at certain points in time, whether it be the Regals, Malibus, ATS, Camaros, even the Equinoxes, the valve covers kind of leak a little bit sometimes. Sometimes you may have just gotten the car used, or the person before you didn't have the maintenance on it. We got a pretty cheap mod here that's a GM OEM valve cover gasket replacement set. It gives you everything to pretty much remove your valve cover, put a new gasket down, put everything back together. And that one will be right here. It comes in a GM original bag. Very, very simple mod to do. Very, set you up for the race season. It's one of those small things that you'll make your car happier. You won't have an oil leak coming down the front cover or around the intake manifold or anything like that. So very cheap mod, good maintenance mod. I highly recommend that you do this one. So you can get this whole valve cover set for about $44.99 on our website. The next mod is kind of a LTG specific issue. We basically have come out with a silicone replacement Y section for your coolant setup. That'll be right here. This comes off of your coolant reservoir and connects to and basically connects right in front of the engine bay. And basically what happens is stock, there gets a little crack in between there or along some of the lines right there. And this is an easy replacement that's gonna be better than factory and won't have the cracking issue that the factory one does. There are different setups, such as, people use AN lines for them, a bunch of nice fittings, which can be nice, but this is an easy pop the other one off, pop this one right on, no more leaks kind of issue, so you're not smelling coolant in your car. Granted, coolant doesn't smell too bad usually. I don't think it smells kind of sweet to me. But it's obviously you don't want it leaking out and causing the car to overheat, and it could be a much larger problem down the line. So this is a very cheap and easy part to get, and also a very cheap and easy part to install as well. So we're trying to go for ease and cost value here, especially to stretch your tax time dollars to the max. So the Y splitter will cost you right around $50 to $55, somewhere up in there, maybe a little bit higher depending on time you get in everything. So roughly in the $50 range for this piece. The next one is another part that kind of deals with your coolant. These are our LTG silicone radiator hoses. These guys right here. These are both an aesthetic and a material upgrade. Your factory ones over time can wear out, split, break, be hard to clamp back on, etc., etc. This is a nice multiply silicone on both ends for your upper and lower. It looks a lot better than stock. Comes in 3 colors. We have black, red, and blue. And then you can easily, replace these, pop the old ones off, put these on. Looks better, has a nice, better aesthetic to it, and then definitely won't break up over time. So this one is an easy, cheap mod to do that you can do in, again, 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe even less, depending on if you're trying to be fancy or not, or you're trying to have a bunch of, extra fancy clamps on it. But really easy mod. So these together will run you in the $80 range somewhere. So these easy mod, cheaper than getting new OEM ones, I believe, and you can easily put these on in your driveway in a matter of minutes. So for a lot of us out there, we want to hook up boost gauges or, do a mechanical gauge or, have various sensors in the car. The LTG doesn't really allow you to do that much. Basically, they have a bunch of hard lines all over the car, which don't really allow you to easily tap into them. So we have the option for you, especially you ATS 13, 14, and I think 15 guys, if you want to do like a mechanical boost gauge. We have our LTG Throttle Body spacer. So guys, as well as, spacing the throttle body out from the intake manifold just a little bit, it also has ports on there. With these ports, you can install things like a mechanical boost gauge in here, so you can actually see how much boost you're making, along with some of our other parts that are not in this video, but you can, do a Air Force vent pod or our A-pillar pods or something to that extent to get a mechanical boost gauge in the car so you know how much boost your car is making, which is kind of an important thing for the LTG. This is both for the Camaro and the ATS, and you can really use this on the Regals and Malibus as well, and any other LTGs, because what's nice is all the throttle bodies are the same. So if you want to add a gauge to there, or from a place for a mechanical bypass valve for you Z series and ZFR bolt-on turbo guys, this is a perfect mod for you, and it adds a little bit of cooling to the throttle body too. So you get kind of a 2-for-1 bang for buck. This one is going to run you about $90, give or take, and cheap mod, great mod. It'll last you for the life of the car, and again, option for gauges and a little bit of cooling to the throttle body to reduce KR just by a little bit. So the next mod is one that works for both the Camaro and the ATS, and it helps a bit in a few ways, both aesthetically, handling wise, and actually a little bit of reliability wise. So the next one is going to be our ATS and Camaro Strut Tower Bar. So that's this one, this big old honking thing right here. So what's cool about this one is, obviously, the ATS actually has a bit of strut tower support from the factory, but they're actually a little bit on the weaker side. We've actually seen many reports of both the Camaros, more so the Camaros and the ATS, but both Camaros and ATS have the strut towers themselves having issues with the top plates. So the top plates can actually kind of go through the top of them if they're, it's been, given too much weathering and, it's been exposed to the elements too many times. We've actually had people put these on to help reinforce them, and we've had people had fewer issues with them. So, as well as being a nice, cool-looking strut bar that's in your engine bay, it also doesn't stop the car from being maintenance. We offer Heim joints in them that can be counter-locked to locked up a little bit, and it actually sways back and forth and can adjust itself, so you can still do things like your spark plugs and not have to take it off every time to do simple maintenance on it. Now, what is nice too is that it just offers a little bit of handling support, because obviously the more connected it is, the better, right? So overall, this is a very cheap mod for right at the $100 range, maybe a little less or more depending, but this is a very easy, cheap mod to do that will also look pretty sweet in the engine bay, if I'm not gonna lie. So pair these with some good suspension mods too, like some springs and stuff, and you have a handling machine if you're looking to road course these things. So, all right guys, the final one is gonna be an aesthetic mod as well as a bit of a upgrade over stock. So the last mod on today's top 10 list is actually gonna be our LTG Heat Shield. So that's this piece. So don't pay attention to the cover that's on it. It actually looks like this, you know, all the entire time. But this is an upgraded one over your OEM kind of ugly looking heat shield. This one is actually full stainless, has ZZP cut out in it, so you can kind of, you know, rep a little bit when you go to your car shows and pop your hood. And it just looks 1,000,000% better than stock. The stock one is kind of this ugly, kind of rounded, you know, setup of kind of weird aluminum sheet metal-y kind of thing, and it's kind of weird and silly looking. Versus this one, pops right on, it's sturdy, it looks a lot better, and obviously it's gonna do the same thing the other one did and protect the heat from getting all over your hood and, you know, assisting with, you know, your underhood blanket and everything else. So this is a good one that, especially on stock turbo, this is a good aesthetic upgrade that's also gonna do the same job as the stock one. And you know, if you're looking to go turbo, you can modify a little bit. Granted, this is made for the stock turbo or our big wheel turbo. Both those with this will fit perfectly. Doesn't quite fit on our ZFR and our Z series turbos, but if you're looking to do a small upgrade, you're still on stock engine, want your big wheel upgrades, this is a perfect mod to give you that upgrade aesthetic, as well as do the same job as the OEM heat shield. Just a little better, because, you know, you got a little bit of, a little bit of heat dissipation coming out there too. So, you know, a little bit 2 for 1 on there. So this mod, again, run you right around $100, maybe a little less, a little more. But this is a great mod that's gonna be easy to get and stretch your tax time dollars to the absolute most. All right, guys, so that's just 10 mods that we have that are available on ZZPerformance.com that will allow you to really get a number of mods on your mod list, as well as, you know, stretch that dollar as much as you can for tax time or any other time where you don't have a ton to spend, but you want to get a few mods here and there or do some maintenance on the car. We have many more maintenance items on the website that can help you out if you're looking at a little bit of a different range. And of course, if you ever have any questions about this, feel free to email customer service at ZZPerformance.com and my personal email, ryan.d@ZZPerformance.com. We're always happy to help you out and answer any question you have. So guys, once again, that's our top 10 mods for under $100 for the ATS, Camaro, and other LTG platform vehicles. Ryan D at ZZP. We'll see you next time.